All right. So thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope everybody had a nice long weekend, even though it's a bit rainy. It's still a bit rainy today. Today I'm very excited because we're going to be going over one of my favorite spring activities every school year, and that's the Jim Harbin Student Film Festival. One of our goals this year was to increase participation in hopes that you all see what it can do for your program and for your students, and how you can get students motivated to make these videos and collaborate with other teachers in making videos. So hopefully somebody gets something out of this today, whether or not you just need tips and tricks, or this is your first time and you don't know anything about it. But hopefully today will sort of give you a walkthrough. I am joined today by two fabulous media specialists, um, Millie Blanco from Blue Lake, and then Kathleen Boutte from Duncan. They both have participated in the Jim Harbin Film Festival and have won on the district side. So they're going to chime in and take it from their points of view. And then also, please make sure that you keep muted unless you have a question while we're doing this. But right now, I did put in the chat box a way for you to sign in with the link. If you have not done so, please use the QR code on the screen, or I will put the link in the chat box again. But please make sure that you are signing in, because this is how we're going to be taking attendance at the end of the year. So I will give you a moment to sign in. And it's not your computer screens. I am yellow today for some reason. So I do apologize. There's a little tint to me. So again, I did pin in the chat box the link to sign in if you're just joining us, or you didn't have a second to sign in on this screen. But also we will be getting the attendance logs from the meet as well. So there's many different ways for you to sign in. I'm hoping today there's a lot of interaction and a lot of question and answer. If you do have a question, please make sure to hit the raise your hand or wait for a good opportunity to unmute. If you do not have a question today, please make sure that you stay muted, because there's going to be a lot of information and a lot of us on this meet this afternoon. So like I said, I'm joined with these great media specialists. Some of you have, others have participated as well, but we're really trying to increase participation this year. That way you all feel more comfortable doing it year after year after year. So what is the Jim Harbin Film Festival? All right, so there's two parts to the Jim Harbin Film Festival. There is the district film festival, and then there is the state level Jim Harbin Film Festival that is sponsored by Fame. All right, so in order for us to start the Jim Harbin Film Festival, we first have to do the district film festival. All right, and what this festival does is it helps students learn how to create storyboards from ideas, make the video production, learn how to edit. They use their imagination, and also it gives them a chance to enter into a contest to get all of their videos and work displayed and shown, not only to district people, but the ones that go to state. It goes to all the different county judges as well. All right, so for more information, we can click on the link. And again, it's going to take you to Fame. One thing about participating in the Jim Harbin Film Festival, somebody in your school has to be a Fame member. So other teachers at your school, if they're doing drama club or they do the news shows, they can participate and do the film festival as long as you are a member of Fame. If you are not a member of Fame but want to participate in the film festival, you can sign up for Fame and be a member at any time. All right, so that's not going to hopefully that doesn't deter you from participating. It's an easy fee that either SAC can pay for, your scholastic funds, the school can pay for that membership for you. All right. So it was named, obviously, after somebody named Jim Harbin, who is a former consultant with the Department of Education. He sort of organized this whole festival to recognize all the excellent work being done across the state of Florida for student media producers. Okay. All right. The rules are pretty simple. I wouldn't say they're really not hard to not follow. But there are rules regarding the submissions into the Jim Harbin. All right. One, you have to follow copyright. Everything that you submit to the film festival should be original, or it should be free to use if you're using the copyright, the free royalty music, if you're putting music into it. It should not be a copy of something or something that should infringe upon copyright rules and laws. And then also at the end, you have to just state sort of a piece of paper to give all your copyright information. All right. There are different categories. There are 4 different grade categories: K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. So obviously the judging is based on the content and technical quality, but for each age range, right? There's going to be a different quality of judging for K-12 as we would for K through 2. All right. Now, this is all student based, right? You can encourage, you can teach, you can help these students, but we as teachers and sponsors are not allowed to write their scripts, record the videos, or edit, right? We're only allowed to help. These are fully student-made videos and materials, all right? When I send out the recorded session, I will also send out this presentation so that you can click on the links, because if you want to read more rules, you may. But like I said, this is all student-based and it's in different categories for the grade levels. You have to follow copyright, and that's pretty much it. You let the students have fun, get creative, and be themselves. Ladies, am I missing anything yet? Okay. All right. Here are the fun things to talk about. All right. There are different categories in which you can submit videos for. All right. Now, if this is your first year doing this, maybe limit to 1 or 2 categories that the students can choose from. Don't think you have to make a video for every single category. If you only want to make and submit one video in one category, you can do that. All right. However, based on each category, there's different time parameters and different judging qualifications and aspects that we look for. So make sure that when you're picking your category, your submission matches that. And the 2 that get mixed up, and I appreciate them being here on here, is an instructional video and a PSA. Those have very specific time limits. Think about a PSA that you see on TV. It's in and out. So the time limit on here cannot exceed 60 seconds. Can it be shorter? Yes, but it cannot be longer. Whereas an instructional video, like something somebody would turn on YouTube, is about 7 minutes or less. All right. Yes, Erica, I'm going to share these slides in this presentation when I send out the recap video that we get every week without the different ones, just so that you guys can have it better. But here are all the different categories and the rules. You have animation. So the kids can use, stop motion. They can draw it out. Millie, you did animation last year. What program did you use for that?
Basically, I really stick with Adobe Express. I think it makes it a lot easier, and we get a lot of in-service on that. So I really stick with Adobe Express, but I know students really like Canva as well. So between those two, that's where I'm pulling most of my video productions.
Right. Animation, it's really cute. Last year, somebody made like a Bratz type of video. Um, it's really fun to watch them be able to use the creation tools in their animation. So animation is one. Book trailers are very popular and they're a lot of fun. The kids get really into them. So think about it with the SSYRA books, maybe, or the ones that we're using for Battle of the Books. Have them come up with a book trailer for some of us to sort of get an idea. But remember that if the cover is used, the copyright owner must grant permission in writing. All right, so if you're going to use the cover of the book inside the video, then you have to get permission to use that as well. And that is only about 60 seconds. All right. But this is a good way to teach students what book trailers are and how to make one for themselves. Comedy speaks for itself. It's really fun to when the kids think they're being funny. And then, especially I'm sure with Miss Boutte and the middle school kids, where they're like, no, it's a comedy. And you're like, no, this is not. But comedy is fun to watch. Then you have a drama. An instructional video is, again, teaching somebody how to do something or giving instructions. We do have music videos where they can lip sync and pretend they're in a music video. You have a news feature, which is what is shown in a news show, like a short 2-minute feature. Then you can, if your school does the news show, you can submit your entire news if you want to in the news show. All right. Then we went over the PSA and the instructional video differences. But those are the categories. All right. So again, if this is your first time, you just want to stick to one or two, you can do that. You don't have to do all of them. Okay. Here is the timeline of events right now. I cannot give you exact dates because we're still working with the state and the whole Jim Harbin Film Festival. But essentially, the video submissions are going to open in March. All right. So either a week before spring break or 2 weeks before spring break, this for you to submit videos is going to be in March. The due date, they're going to be due after spring break. That last week that the first week that we're back in spring break, I think that Friday is April something. That's what I'm gearing towards. Once you submit, we're going to have our district-wide film festival. Library media and other friends who get invited get to be the judges. We judge and we determine which ones are going to be going to the state. If you get selected to be going to the state, you'll get an email from Film Freeway saying, congratulations, you can go ahead and you can submit it to the state. Then the state judging happens over the summer. And then the state finalists are announced in September. And if you are a winner, you are invited with your students to go to FAME, to go to the last, right after the FAME Film Festival. And there's a whole red carpet awards ceremony, awards for them. Now you're thinking, how is that possible? And am I really going to win? Yes, we've had many people from our district win the state awards. Tempe Craven was at Discovery Key, but she is now at Dr. J doing testing, but she and her students got invited, and she went and always was able to be with the students to pick up their trophies. And it's just an enjoyable experience for them. And they really feel like it's the Oscars or the Golden Globes, or really into the TV production world. All right. So what do I need to even get started? You can use an iPad, a camera, a video camera, Chromebooks, laptops, anything that records. Kathleen and Millie, do you want to chime in and say what you use to make the videos?
Most of my students just use their phones and they edit right through their phones and then maybe download it and then through the computer.
Mine are just using the computers, their laptops all the time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So one thing that's also required, and it's part of the judging, is if a storyboard is included or not. So because storyboards are always included, that's why we wink, wink, use that as the homework for our Adobe training in the fall so that you can get used to creating storyboards. Also, Canva has tons of storyboard templates. It's not hard. Pick a template, have the students draw it out, write it out. Using stick figures are fine. Again, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. It just needs to show the judges that the whole video was planned out and thought about and written out before they actually started it. All right. Now, go ahead, Millie.
Actually, in the Jim Harbin website, they also have the storyboard there that they could just make a copy of it
Oh,
and
perfect.
have the kids just map everything out before they're thinking or as they're going along. And that's what you can upload as your storyboard when you're uploading the video and the permission slip from the parents and all that wonderful stuff.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So again, you could always just use the one that's provided in Jim Harbin as well. So think about it. You want to form groups of maybe 4 or 5 students that work well together. Explain what is sort of their expectations, what you're going to do. Make sure that there is a parent permission form that will need to go home and signed, just explaining that your kids are going to be recorded and they're going to be that the recording is going to be submitted. But you'll get all of that information in the rules and different things when you sign into Jim Harbin or Film Freeway, but I'll send the paperwork that needs to be signed as well in the email that I'm going to send out to everybody. So then you're going to pick a category or have the students pick a category, decide on a topic, and then they'll work together to work on the storyboard. And again, once the storyboard is correct, you should approve it, and then they can start filming it. There are free editing softwares available. We did not do MacBooks this year, but over the past several years, we've given out MacBooks. I prefer iMovie because I'm a Mac person. Completely up to you, but there's other ones, Lightworks, DaVinci Resolve, Clipchamp, HitFilm, Pixabay, and then also Canva now makes videos too that you can upload clips and turn it into a movie as well. So the biggest thing about Jim Harbin is being able to celebrate your students, right? Nowadays, all the students like to watch TikTok and, Instagram Reels and all of that. So again, explaining to them that we're going to do something like that and bringing it alive for them and having them go through the whole process is invaluable to your program. All right. This can take an entire trimester or quarter, going from step to step to step. If you're thinking about curriculum and what you're going to do next with the students, video editing and making something, a sample that you can submit by March. If you start now, again, that's 3 months almost of program and curriculum work that you can be doing with them. All right. It brings in all the technology standards. It brings in library skills. It brings in collaboration and working together with the students. So like I said, if you get selected, you're going to get asked to join People in Fame in Orlando this next year. And then some people even went and contacted the news to let them know that, hey, these students won a state film festival and they got to go to the news station. So it's just a great way to celebrate your students and let them see themselves on a big screen. And I'll send this out, but here is an example of a PSA, LeBron the Turtle. And then we're going to talk about the pros and cons and the other things and go back to the other presentation because there are specifics that we need to go over, okay? Can you hear this?
Can't hear it.
Okay. Let me see if I can share something else and do the entire screen. See if that helps. Can you hear it now? Still not?
No.
You'll get the gist. You can hear me?
they were doing a public service announcement on why you shouldn't litter by the ocean. So this is the sea turtle. He used some sort of video thing where he was eating the plastic bag, and the next thing you know, he dies. And now his friend sees him. He's like, "Oh no, he ate the plastic bag, and this is why you shouldn't litter at the beach." And at the end, there usually needs to be credits of who's done what, who was the editor, things like that. But Stephanie, I was going to offer some tips about how to get started, because I know that's the hardest thing is sometimes who do I work with and what teachers, and how do I even start doing that, if that's all right.
Yes, no, please. That's what we're going to jump back into, that. And then I didn't do the pros and the cons of participating. So go ahead. I think that you're absolutely right. I think the hardest thing is getting started. So I will walk through it if you
No, I was just going to tell some of my experiences over the last couple of years, because I'm not at an elementary school. I don't have classes assigned to me. I'm not on a fine arts wheel. So the hardest part was getting, like, who am I going to work with? How am I going to get kids to be able to do this? So one time we have different academies at our school. So we have a finance academy, and they do Shark Tank every year. And they asked me to be a judge. So while I was the judge, one of the things these students had to do for their projects was they had to create a commercial for their product. And I was so impressed by the commercials they created. I got with the finance teacher later and I said, "Wow, I'm getting ready to do this film festival. Your kids are great at making commercials." I gave them two choices. I said they could either do a public service announcement or an instructional video on just how to do something, whether it's baking a cake, tying a shoe, whatever, they don't care. Just give them instructions step by step on how to do something. So I got that teacher to buy in, and she made it a project for her students. And that was part of their grade for that 9 weeks, to create a video. Another year, students will come in and want to use the library for different projects. So this group of kids came in and said, "I want to use the smart board." "Oh, what for?" "Oh, in our history class, we're being asked to make videos about something that happened in U.S. history." So as they were sharing the videos, I piggybacked with that teacher and said, "Hey, do I have permission to use some of your students' videos?" Because one of them was pretty funny. So I entered it under comedy. This year, I decided to get with my drama teacher because her kids like doing that. So sometimes it's just one teacher. That's all I have time for, and just kind of partner with them and their students. And they kind of make it part of their assignment. And that makes it a lot easier.
Excellent. Thank you.
Basically for me, I usually pick a couple of topics throughout the year that I'm going to concentrate on. As far as the book trailer, I definitely use it in Battle of the Books. After the students, we've gone through the books and let's say we battled out, I usually will have each team get together and pick their favorite Sunshine State book, and they will create their own book trailer on that. As far as the rest of my classes, when I see them, like last year we had a kindness topic go through all 4th grade. Basically, we were trying to enforce some expectations and kindness behavior throughout the campus. So I got together with the counselor and we were doing units on kindness for 4th grade, and then the final product was after they researched different pieces of information, then they created their own videos on kindness. So we used that as a public service announcement. So that's how we've been doing it. Hopefully this year we're looking into definitely the morning announcement. Kids want to submit something. And I really find that once you do one project together as a class, or, even as a whole school, I pretty much now go from 1st grade through kindergarten doing it. The kids get so into it that they even go home and they start creating their own things. So once they take that ownership, you're hardly doing the work, because they come here and they'll say, "Oh, I worked on this at home," and then it just keeps growing and growing. And it's just, once you plant the seed, they just take off on their own, and it's exciting to see their creativity and what they love doing. And obviously, once you submit one and, we make a big deal of it in the morning announcements and all that stuff, they feel good about it. And, they know it's coming up. And a lot a lot of times I start off with one thing and they're like, okay, so when are we going to get to Adobe Express? That's my favorite part. I'm like, hold back. We're finishing one unit on Book Creator, and then we'll jump into Adobe Express. But they really love it, and the kids love going in their own, special spots around the library to film themselves. Really, they just take it and just roll with it completely on their own. So highly recommend it.
So right here, we just see some pros and cons of sort of participating and sort of the advantages of doing this as project-based learning. We do know that it's time consuming, but like Millie was saying, it has so many other pros towards it and the outcomes to where it's a great thing for you and your students to participate in. So how do you get started? You've done the filming, you've done everything. You're going to sign up for a free account at filmfreeway.com. From there, and I'll put it into the chat now. From there, you'll create a dashboard of sort of like a homepage for you, and then you would be able to upload your video. Now, you're going to create projects and add your videos and such. The biggest thing I'm going to say to this is, if you put your videos in your Google Drive, you must change the viewing options to anybody with the link can view. Because unfortunately, if we can't view it, we can't judge it and we can't send it on. So we want our students to win, right? And to show all the wonderful things in the videos that we're doing in Palm Beach County. But again, because it's very easy to take the video that they've recorded, upload it into the Google Drive, and then take and download the video from Google Drive and put it into your dashboard in Film Freeway. But you have to remember to change the viewing access or we won't be able to see it. We won't be able to say, hey, we need you to change the sharing view before we judge it. So if we can't see it in the time of the judging, we won't be able to judge it and we'll have to skip it.
And that happened to me my first year. I forgot to change several of the sharing permissions, but some of the kids were there the next year and I used it again with their permission. I just had them re-sign the permission slips. But that was a mistake. I was like, okay, I learned the hard way. I also found Film Freeway. To me, that was one of the cons because it's a little confusing because there's so many boxes to fill out. But I think it's also a platform for people who like professionally create films. And I learned the first year through Tempe and Millie and I with a lot of phone calls that we don't really have to fill out half of the information that's there. And because we only do it once a year, you kind of get rusty at it. But we would get together, Millie and I, and be like, okay, wait, what do I click for this screen? Oh, I don't need to do anything on this screen. And once you do a few, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, so like the Tribeca Film Festival is on here too. It's every film festival from professional all the way down. So our little state film festival is in with every film festival. So it is rather confusing because there's just so many in it. Go ahead, Millie.
Actually, I don't remember what I've done in the past. But basically, when the kids make a video, what I like to do is I put it on a YouTube channel and just put it unlisted so that only the person who has the link can view it. But in that case, it always ensures that anybody can see it and you don't run into, oh, it lags or it's not going to show or whatever the case may be. If you come up with some technical difficulties, if you upload it to a YouTube channel that you can create for your school or even for yourself, I use it for myself, but it just ensures that everything gets uploaded and it's always seen. I don't know if you could see some of the videos as well. I think you'll be able to click and see some of them.
Yeah, so I will send everything out so that you have examples to choose from, step-by-step instructions about Film Freeway, this presentation and everything. But here is, again, the information regarding if you need to reach out to any of these ladies. I'm sure that they will make the time to help you either upload or best practices or a tip and trick or anything you may need, here is their information on the screen for you. Please contact them, contact us. I know Kimberly Bauer made a whole presentation on Jim Harbin. So she's a great resource, and Anya loves video editing and is very knowledgeable about that. So please reach out to any of us and we will help the best that we can. Thank you so much, ladies. If I don't remember to send something out or that's not included, please just email me back and I'll make sure that everybody gets that.
Another thing people could do is they could go on the FAME website and look at past winners. And that's what I started with, showing the very first year when I didn't have any samples to show the kids. I said, oh, this is what a middle school instructional video looks like that won second place in the in the state. And some of them were like, that's it? That's easy. I could do that on my phone. Okay, well then here's the challenge. Go ahead and do it. And they love being on their phone, especially in middle school. They all have a phone. So that takes care of the camera problem right there.
Mm-hmm. Any questions? All right, well, if you guys have any questions, again, just reach out to us and we'll help you the best you can. Again, one of our goals this year is to increase participation. So I really, really hope that you consider submitting. It can be little, it can be big, anything that you would like. All right, continue to tag us. I know that I met with Emma the other day when we were discussing how bad Twitter has become or is, and that some people are doing their library on Instagram as well. So I encourage you to do that because you can share your pictures on Instagram with other media specialists. However, Twitter is more not only for us, but for upper leadership to promote your library so you can see what you're doing as well. So don't forget to tag us in upper leadership in your posts as well. Okay, so coming up, we have a few of our last PDD days remaining, believe it or not. Our next one is February 24th, and we will not be having a library media one. We are encouraging you, and we will all be at the technology conference that's sponsored by EdTech. Registration is open now. You will get points, they said, for attending the conference. However, that course in ELM does not open until a few days before the conference, they said. So you can't sign up in ELM right now, but if you attend, it will be, you can earn points for that. Then the last virtual, the last PD day is March 31st when we return back from spring break. We are going to have 2 virtual sessions for you. It'll be virtual. So whether you're at school or busy, hopefully you can sign in. The morning is going to be with our friends from Follett and Tidal Wave, going over just creating the best maker space and STEM area for your library, and different things that they have to offer and what you can do. And then in the afternoon will be an open office with Kimberly Bauer and Anya about your collection development. That will be due at the end of the year in the springtime. That'll be in the afternoon. So more information will be coming out to you about that. But just note that the next one is February 24th, and then the last one is going to be virtual for you guys. The open office virtual PD, we cannot offer you points because technically it's not, we're not coming together and learning. But in the morning, the STEM one will be worth 6 points if you still need points. We are getting very close to our celebration from Emma. Your invitations and formal invitations should be coming out soon. You have also been sent the form to nominate your principal or your media clerk if you have one. So please make sure that you adhere to all the deadlines. And if you have a fantastic principal that supports you and is your cheerleader, please consider nominating them. Or if your media clerk goes above and beyond, please consider nominating them as well for media clerk or principal of the year. And the principals have also already gotten their forms to nominate the media specialist of the year. But you will be getting a formal invite. You do not have to be a member of Emma to come party with us. However, I highly encourage you, if you've not done so already, do become a member of Emma. They do great things throughout the school year for you, for the students. And specifically next week or in 2 weeks, they're going to be meeting with upper leadership to sort of advocate for your rights and the different things that you guys are feeling and doing inside your schools. So closing us out, if you need points, remember that this is an end of the year, all encompassing, worth 20 points, sort of like our PLC, and enroll in the class. And then there'll be homework at the end, due just sort of one homework assignment to encompass everything that we've learned here today. Next week, we're going to be joined with our friends from Book Creator to go over what's happening, how to use it, get a free version, become a trainer, all sorts of fun with Book Creator. Also, before we end today, I do want to talk and just let you guys know that our team and department have been pulled to do school support 3 days a week, all day. So it's going to be very difficult to get a hold of us. But I promise you, we're not ignoring you. We're just out at school support. And we'll get back to you when we can. They thought, hey, you guys are doing such a good job. We're going to give you a second job on top of your job. You all know how that goes. So we are going to be all over the place. Email is probably the best way to get us, only because we're not going to be inside the office as much. And we'll be able to email you as soon as you can. But if we do not get back to you in the day, please note that we're not ignoring you. It's just that we're out supporting students through this tutorial program until about mid or end of April. All right. So I'm going to stop recording.